I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching a new show, Madoka Magica. This won a poll that we had up.
Yes, it did.
The only thing I know about this show is that I believe it's a little bit older, as in not this year it was released, or I don't even think last year. That is where my Madoka Magica knowledge lays at the moment. I know absolutely nothing else, so I don't really have anything to contribute.
I know also nothing, very little. It is on a watch list of mine. Like, I have known
Is it on, like, Mal?
about it. No. I knew about it, and I'm not going to say exactly why, but it kind of fits the type of show I would have watched on my own.
Okay.
So I definitely had it where I was planning on watching it someday, wanted to. I know what the two kind of, I would say, I don't know, maybe main characters. I don't know if they're the main characters. I know what two characters look like, and I think one of them especially is the main character.
Okay.
And that is it. I don't know the plot. I just feel like, especially with the name, that it is a type of show that I would have watched on my own.
Interesting.
I have been wanting to watch this, but I also don't know anything about the plot, which is great.
We're watching the right one. It says Puella Magi Madoka Magica, and that was the only one that we could find. I assume this is the right one.
I would also assume. Sometimes people shorthand titles because it's easier,
for sure.
And it's more iconic to maybe call it Madoka Magica.
Yeah, we offer up to 2 weeks early access ahead over on our Patreon, and we also offer full length for the first episode. That's free. Thanks, Blind Wave. But without further ado, you ready? I'm nervous. I'm always nervous and excited to start a new show because it's like, this is either going to change my life for the next coming weeks or be something that I just, enjoy.
Will you cry? Will you laugh? Will you do both of those things? Will you want to throw your notebook? We have notebooks.
Yeah, we do have notebooks.
Will you want to throw your notebook across the room like you have with some shows in the past? Maybe. We don't know.
Maybe.
We'll see.
You ready?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. This is anime, right? What am I watching? It's like Mob Psycho.
I was like Steins Gate and Mob Psycho put together. The music's good.
Yeah, it is. She has a dual disc. What are you?
Inevitable. So like the future? Fate.
Change this ending. Make a contract with me. Okay, I can see why you
can see why I wanted to watch it.
Dream. Future.
A dream of the future. Prophetic dream.
I don't think it was. Okay.
Have you heard this song before?
No.
I have. I cannot tell you how excited I am to finally watch this show.
I love the title. What? What should I be expecting? I've seen a few episodes of Cardcaptor Sakura. The song's amazing. Cool house.
That is a very cool house.
Cool tomatoes. Little brother? Look at all those chairs. Why were there so many chairs in
I
there?
know, but that was kind of weird.
What is this house? Look at the shot.
Gotta confess your love in person. I agree with that.
So many names. Look at that reflection. It's like 4 of them.
Oh, her bows are a similar shape to the clip in her mom's hair.
Oh, no. Good catch. What an interesting clock.
They appreciate the arts and beauty, and I love that.
I wonder if it relates to her job, you know? I wonder if she's like an architect or something. In front of everyone. Whoa.
Theirs was a breakup.
Is she projecting a little
the
bit?
3 months. Ooh,
Okay.
yes! Mysterious transfer student. Akemi.
I'm loving this. Instantly, like, recognized, or...
Come on, the day she wakes up from that dream is the day the transfer student arrives.
Can she, like, sense that there's potential within Madoka? Or did she also have a dream? A Catholic school in Tokyo.
No, she wants Madoka too. Is the nurse's aide Madoka?
She has so much information.
How does she know? Go with the mysterious girl.
This is the craziest looking school that I've ever seen in my life.
Shorty knows where it is. Everyone's just like stopped in their tracks.
I feel like unsettled a bit. What the?
She looks disgusted. Glaring, that look on her face.
The animation. Okay.
Like once you go down this path.
Yeah. There's no going back. She's a prodigy. Does all of this come along with being a magical girl, or must you possess this to be one? You know?
Depends what magical girl anime it is.
I haven't seen many. Okay. What the... This is new territory for me. But that dream... Or something. This is so meta.
巡り合った運命の仲間なんだかよく思い出せないんだけど、とにかく変な夢だったって。テミさんと会ったことがあるのかもしれませんわ。自身は覚えていないつもりでも、深層心理には彼女の印象が残っていて、夢に出てきたのかもしれません。どんな偶然よ。そうね。もうこんな時間。ごめんなさい。お先に失礼します。ピアノ、日本舞踊、お茶のお稽古ですの。
Damn.
もうすぐまで続けさせられるのか。うわぁ、まどか、帰りに CD 屋寄ってもいい？いいよ。上条くんの？まあね。ではまた。
Do you think that these things can only have contracts with one girl or one person? Or multiple? What the fuck? Homer is chasing it? Like a telepathic
Help
connection.
me.
Where are
Where
we?
are we? She's like upstairs in the mall.
Floor is
remodel.
closed.
Okay. The floor. It looks like the floor from the beginning. Checkerboard.
Oh shit. Is she gonna have a response to that? Okay.
I mean, we did notice that she noticed Madoka leaving.
Whoa.
What the?
What the fuck is happening?
Now of all times.
I have been drugged. This is so wild to look at.
I would also be scared.
This is terrifying. Scissors?
Scissors?
What the fuck? Fuck that.
Is she protecting them?
Transformation?
Please. The egg reminds me of Shigochara.
What the fuck?
Yes! I live for this.
What the fuck? What the Those were like guns, right? Are you a good person, Homura?
The witch. The witch.
I'll overlook what you did this time.
But I don't really trust her either.
I mean, she's helping Kyubi, who looks kind of cute. It looks like a Digimon. Okay.
Both of them. Wait, the best friend also gets to be one? Wait, but then they'd be leaving out the other friend.
I feel very out of my element. Okay, that was Madoka Magica Season 1, Episode 1. I'm a bit out of my element. I've never really seen anything like this before. And I loved every second of it. And it also scared me. It frightened me.
I don't think you've ever watched, it just sat down and actually watched the entirety of any magical girl anime that
True.
I have watched. I've watched Shugo Chara, Cardcaptor Sakura, Sailor Moon, Tokyo Mew Mew, and you've maybe, from looking over my shoulder, seen bits and pieces of some of those things. But and I think Cardcaptor would be the one that you've maybe seen the most of. I think because I forced you to watch it because I thought you'd like.
I like Sakura, yeah, and I like the vibes it was giving off, but I love the aesthetic too. Like the color palettes.
When she taps her shoe.
Yeah, but typically from what I'm used to, it seems like in those shows, like at least Sailor Moon and Cardcaptor Sakura, the crux of the opposition is like, oh, I have magical powers as well, and I'm a bad person trying to disrupt day-to-day life for everybody else, or there are like some type of like creature or magical thing that we're fighting against. But I've never seen anything that changes the environment in such a way that we witnessed in this episode. Like these fucking like nightmarish, creepy ass, like I feel bad for even cursing at the moment because it's like, is this like a kid show? I like a show that's more at the demographic of like a Sailor Moon, because part of it seems twisted in its nature, and it's so interesting to me. I've never seen anything like it. It kind of reminded me of Bocchi the Rock a little bit, and it's like mixed medium. Yeah, it was so interesting.
Especially when you start this episode off and there's that like realistic lace.
Yeah.
Where it almost like a stage like curtain coming up to start the episode.
Yeah.
And then like the vibes at the beginning, as you pointed out, were very like Mob Psycho. I was getting Steins Gate by like the black and white. But like the buildings all up in the air, this inevitable destruction. It's a really interesting place to open you up with the possible future before starting a series.
Yeah.
Like it's like how what are we going to see lay into place to get to that future, or what could happen to change it? Like what is the inevitable path to getting to that future that we're about to see unfold, and how do we change it?
Do you think it's like a sort of like mirror dimension that's like leaking through?
I like the idea that it's like another dimension. In some magical girl, I would say in multiple, the enemy is alien.
Yeah.
And not necessarily other dimensional, like it's actually from space, from another planet. A few of them are like that. So I like the idea of going maybe interdimensional here because of how the black and white and the checkerboard and the have you ever seen Escher, the artist?
Yeah.
It's very like illusion, black and white, sketchy. That's what it reminded me of.
At this, like the opening, right, in the fight there, felt more like, oh, I am in another world or dimension. Whereas the situations that happened later on in the episode felt like another dimension was like leaking through or breaking, or like, I don't know, something was about to occur. Like,
with the use of the different, like, kind of what doesn't seem like a 2D, the style of Madoka and her friends with the butterflies and the dandelions and the scissors, they're drawn in a way that makes them feel like they are from otherworldly, not from this plane. They're drawn differently. There's a texture to them.
Like, And it affects all of the characters as well, you know, like they're going through it too, seemingly. And then you get these like mustache dandelions dancing around.
So
and
they're like butterflies on the feet.
yeah,
And then mustaches.
I want to meet
It's
the
so
person who came up
creative.
with this idea. This is twisted shit, and I love it.
So what we learned is that I'm gonna guess that this is the work of a witch. Whatever
Okay,
they're
yeah.
witnessing
The
here.
witch escaped.
The witch escaped. And whatever is happening here is bad and is an enemy has caused this, is what I get out of this. Like Homura says, like, oh, this is bad timing, and the other magical girl that shows up is the one that it works with Homura, would you assume?
I would assume that this person is Homura's senior.
Senior, okay. I could also...
Not in terms of grade that they're
but
in.
magical girl status, maybe.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
That's my guess at the moment, but I'm trying to figure out, like, the systems that are at play here, right? Like, does Homura chasing Kyubey have any... Did that elicit any of this witch powers response?
Mhm.
Or was it just bad timing that was
Right.
also occurring? Like, what is...
That's fun.
Because in this world that, setting aside that we're assuming Homer is a magical girl and that blonde girl's a magical girl, the only thing that we're seeing otherworldly is the being that is Kyubey, who looks like a fucking
Yes.
Digimon.
So we've gotten past now everything that I've already seen of this show, which is
Okay.
the character designs of Madoka and Homura and Kyubey.
Okay.
I knew what those three looked like before going into this, and I knew Madoka's character design was the main character, if
Yeah.
you will.
Okay.
That is what I knew, and now we are past that. So now going into whatever happens in the next episode or the following episodes, it will be totally new territory for me, and that's exciting.
So I imagine that Kyubey is some like is a being from another like world or dimension that potentially exists in the same as the witch or whoever the antagonist in this world is. But what's fascinating to me is like Homura's character, because what you have is Kyubey offering up this potential for a contract to multiple people. It comes across as if like, what if Kyubey made Homura into a magical girl? It completely changed her life, and Homura isn't necessarily happy with all the risk or the change that has happened because of it. And that could be a reason that she was chasing Kyubey down the hall, like trying to kill it, trying to stop. Yeah.
And maybe she's not what injured it. The witch maybe injured it, and that might be a misunderstanding, but maybe she was trying to stop him. I like the idea of thinking that Homura would try to stop, especially with the quote that we get in the interaction of that idea that once you go down this path, like, if you love your family, your friends, and the current you,
yeah,
if you don't want to change who you are, then, like, don't go down this path.
It seems like she was trying to, like, for one reason or another, it seemed like she was stopping a process that was in the middle of happening.
Right.
Like, the idea of... I wonder if it's just, like, a predestined thing, right?
We get the idea of fate at the very beginning, and obviously, if we're having prophetic dreams of Homura and Kyubey before starting, before waking up and actually meeting them, you would think that everything was meant to be this way. I think the one thing that surprises me the most about that is the friend Sayaka being known by Kyubey and also being offered a contract. Like, but what
is that
excites
weird
me,
for the trope?
It's weird, but what excites me about it is the personal relationship dynamic going forward of the one friend that left early and doesn't get to be involved, and then what if we have to keep a secret from her going forward? I'm like, the interpersonal friendship. So like,
Hitomi, I believe.
Normally like magical girl animes have like a big emphasis on friendship.
Okay.
And in like Sailor Moon, for example, there are certain characters that aren't necessarily actually best friends with each other.
Yeah.
Because it's being offered to random girls. They
Yeah.
don't already have friendships with each other. They're not automatically going to become best friends. And so I really like that I'm already starting to maybe like theorize a bit of like, oh, if both of them get offered these contracts, then there's going to be that weird relationship with their third best friend who wasn't involved and wasn't here.
Maybe in like a very lighthearted way, but what it gave me was like, it gave me as like an audience so much knowledge that Hitomi's always going to be busy. Like there won't even be like that
She
much.
wouldn't even notice.
Yeah, or like it would lend itself to being able to have that
like use this
flexibility.
comedic, like, oh, Hitomi just left for her piano lessons. Let's
Yeah,
go,
yeah,
magical
yeah.
girl transformation.
Yeah.
Like we hide behind a building and we transform.
I'm not sure though. I'm so interested in what this other like what the witch is and what Homura's character and motivation here is, because when she's told, I'll overlook what you did this time, that is one piece of dialogue that gives me the impression of this blonde girl being a senior, as well as talking to Madoka like, oh yeah, you're in this middle school, you're in this grade, right? And we know that Homura shares that with Madoka, but the relationship between the blonde girl and Homura is what is the biggest question mark to me.
Right. Just one thing I definitely wanted to bring up was we start this episode off with already being given lines of dialogue that will tell us who Homura is before that's almost wiped away, and we get introduced to her as this mysterious girl that then tells us this cryptic message in a hallway and then we think is fighting Kyubey.
Yeah.
Like we get told she came here alone knowing that it was too much for her. She went to whatever this inevitable event is alone to try to save the world maybe, and will like that already shows that Homura is a person who's like, if this is the path she's taking it with her whole heart.
Yeah.
And she is willing to maybe die for it. Like she knows maybe she's not strong enough alone, but she's not gonna like
do this to
sit
another
down.
But it's also like,
but she's also not going to put the burden on someone else.
Like
right.
Yeah.
And like you can use that to start maybe fleshing out what we learn about her later on and making it seem a lot more like she wouldn't want to put that burden on someone else.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is a really like lovely thought actually, of not just like, I don't like what it did to me and how it changed me and how it might have hurt me. I don't want someone else to go through that same thing. I don't want them to live with that burden.
Yeah.
And that is a really lovely area to go into in terms of understanding like her psyche.
Man, this world is so different to me. And I like the school and the glass like classrooms is so wild to me.
The house.
The mall, the house, and like I loved the teacher and the relationship there with the eggs. I adored that. The mom has like 11 chairs in her bedroom and they all look different and I love it. She has to be some type of like architect or furniture designer or something. We got that she was a successful businesswoman, but that's not enough. I need exposition. I need to know what that business is and how she found success and why she has so many fucking chairs in her room.
I have this funny thought about the chairs. We get this, our first introduction to her is supposed to be core character, which is that she's a sleepyhead and she doesn't want to get up. I imagine that sometimes she's late to her board meetings if she's not woken up, and the board has to come to her house and they all sit in these chairs and she sits in the bed.
Yes.
And they all have their meetings in the bedroom
I
because
love
she was
that.
late or something like that. Like that's what my headcanon is like imagining, and I adore it.
Oh, that I love like the pacing of action from certain characters, like in terms of the teacher telling the story about what's going on with like why, like asking students about eggs in class.
Yeah, why would you be so upset over the two different ways to fry an egg and if someone picks the other?
But like the delivery of that information and that like voice acting and like the pacing of the visual, it's the same with Madoka opening up the curtains in front of her mom. Yeah. I love it.
In terms of
so many
art
chairs.
style, There's one thing I'm really liking about the characters, and that's the up close shot of like Madoko's eyes, for example, have these black lines through the top of it.
Yeah.
And I really like the sketchy style to it, and it almost gives a darkness. There is a mystery there. There is a feeling of inevitable possible darkness or twist, or the gravity or danger in this show might actually be more than you would think. A childhood, we wake up in an episode, we fight the bad guy, we go to bed, that there might actually be more serious gravity of people getting hurt.
But it's like, I don't know where to draw that line, because in my head I'm like, okay, it might get like serious, like, oh, we need to save everybody, but that doesn't necessarily entail like darkness,
right.
like and the twisted nature of that.
But art design.
But like the entire scene with Homura, it's like unsettling in my skin because it's like more specifically their interaction walking to the nurse's office. It's unsettling because in my mind, in my body, I'm like, okay, it's not gonna get past a level of twisted or darkness. It's gonna stay like, we need to save the world. But how they drew and animated the facial expressions on Homura
her when they were walking,
and the grittiness,
facial grit of the teeth, she was almost disgusted.
It was something so like, I don't know, it gave me like Doki Doki Literature Club.
No, I totally get you. Even doesn't Madoka kind of look like one of the characters in
Sayuri? I don't know, but
Doki Doki? I've never played it. I've seen the character.
Interesting because I don't think it's gonna get anywhere close to that shit. But the way that it, I don't know, made me feel was so uneasy.
I don't actually know if it does. This is all based on the art style and the pacing and the unsettling nature and the almost alienation that's happening with having the world and backgrounds and surroundings being so cold and modern.
Yeah.
Brings you into this very uncomfortable and unsettling environment of a singular person walking down this hallway alone. The sketchiness at the top of the eyes, how those mustache dandelions were drawn.
I don't even want to talk about them. I just want to ignore that those exist, and I hope I never have to see them again.
The guns.
Okay, I want to talk about the guns. So Homura has something akin to a dual disc on her wrist, or a big watch.
Definitely.
Now,
she plays Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel.
Now, the blonde girl, she had it didn't look like she had anything like it.
No, she had an egg.
I wonder, but see, the egg might have been the crux to the transformation. That's different. I don't think
You think the dual disc is like the weapon itself?
Yes, okay. I think that is a part of Homura's specific and unique ability.
I hope we're given a name for it so we can like call it by a name other than something that's referencing another
for sure.
Media.
Big watch.
Her big watch
but
that she's wearing.
The blonde girl, right? After she transformed, she was able to conjure a mountain of guns. Yeah. I need to understand and be told, like, what goes into this. Like, is it predestined for you that once you're a magical girl, this is your ability? You're able, you know what? You didn't get to pick. 30,000 guns are going to appear and that's your weapon? Or are you able to like sculpt and cultivate what that looks like to you?
So,
like I imagine Madoka becoming a magical girl and like it or not, she's just going to have to throw a bunch of weird looking chairs at people because that's what her mom likes and that's her ability.
Yeah, I totally get you. It's like, is whatever the power or transformation or weapon, is it going to reflect something that's internal and very unique and specific about the character? Or is it you are gifted this weapon and it becomes yours?
Yeah.
Across magical girl anime, it's kind of like you are the one that, some of them is you are the one that will don this title or weapon. And others, it's a lot more integral to the personality and internal of the person, of whatever their power is.
Yeah.
So it can go either way, and I wouldn't be able to guess because it could go either way.
Yeah.
It's like a sundial. Not a watch. It's like a giant sundial.
I don't know, man. But I like the outfit change of Homura. I really like Homura.
The tights?
Yeah,
I
like
like
with
the
like
tights.
heels, it looks like.
Mhm.
But so do you think in the Homura fight she's fighting against somebody, maybe the witch, and we just haven't been shown that? Or do you think it's more of like this invisible
Oh, the
dimensional
witch is-
force?
Ooh, I like the idea that the witch wouldn't actually be like a character design, but more like a concept or idea or interdimensional thing that you never actually see, but it's a power that's
Mm.
almost invisible. I like that, but it could just be not wanting to show us
Yeah, 'cause
what
we
the
haven't
witch
seen the
looks
design
like.
yet.
Yeah. I don't think there was anything in the intro that gave me like a that's the witch.
Everything, like looking back on it too, the first like 2 minutes of the fight where fucking something through a building at Homura, okay, but it didn't feel, it obviously gave me the this is yet to come, right? We're not
Yes.
there yet. Like
Inev-
8
in-
hours in the future, whatever.
Inevitable fate.
I don't think it's like within a dream world though. You know? I don't
Oh,
think
it could a dream. That's happened before in Magical Girl Land. That an arc has happened in more of a dreamscape
Interesting.
sense.
like Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Yeah, definitely like Shark Boy and Lava Girl. That's a Magical Girl show. Maybe.
I don't know if I've ever seen a show that's like I've seen so many that have the trope of showing me something. Well, how did we get there?
Yeah.
8 hours before. It's so interesting.
It doesn't even tell us like timeline.
No,
Like,
but it's
not even,
interesting that it wasn't because of like narrative they're choosing to do it that way that we were shown it. It was because Madoka experienced it.
Mhm.
Madoka had the premonition of this happening in the future at some point.
which could be something special about
her.
her. Because especially if we go back to Sayaka being offered to be a magical girl, making
Mhm.
a contract as well, but she didn't have a dream.
I think
So is there something specific and special about Madoka that not only could she hear the voice,
Yeah.
the friend didn't hear the voice.
but she had headphones on.
Didn't Madoka put headphones on and like
And
take them off
That's
when she
true.
heard the voice? Madoka not only had the dream of being able to see both Kyubey and Homura, but she also heard the voice. And yet her friend is also getting offered the contract. It definitely leads you down that this specific person making the choice to change their life is needed to change fate.
Two things. One, why would Homura be able to immediately call out and single out Madoka if it was just Madoka having that premonition ability? And number two, we don't see Sayaka within this like in the future
Right.
that was dreamed.
We
That's
don't even see
interesting.
the blonde girl.
I wonder if it's like you're duoed up. I wonder if like Homura
Ooh.
is Madoka's duo and Sayaka's somebody
Gonna be the
else's duo,
blonde
the
girl's
blonde girl or
duo,
something,
maybe.
you know?
I love that idea of forced duo. In Sailor Moon, there is a character that is reminding me of the vibes of Homura right now with Madoka, in that idea of like they will turn out to love each other and be best friends, but they're not like right off of meeting each other like best friends, but through working together they could like come to really love each other and like protect each other. They already give me that energy and that vibe. I really am excited about.
I'm trying to
this.
pick my favorite character.
In terms of design
No, just
or
like
vibe or energy,
everything.
personality.
I think like the dad's definitely up there, but
I love a good like stay-at-home dad that's cooking for his family. It's so
oh my
cute.
god.
Gardener.
But I love Homura, but this blonde girl's sweet too. I don't know.
I do have
They're
a
cool.
soft spot for the girls with like those ginormous, really like not realistic curls in their hair.
Yeah.
I am a sucker for that type of character design as I am for pink hair with pigtails.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for those choices.
I want to read these lines really quick just to get a little bit of understanding. We're back, right? This is after
Like you
the
were
fact.
in another world.
Yeah. And then the conversation between Homer and the blonde girl. The witch is escaped. If you want to finish it off, you better go after it right now. I'll let you take it this time. I have business here. You don't read between the lines very well, do you? I'm telling you, I'll overlook what you did this time. You know, like...
It's like she's trying to stop fate. We get told that Madoka is the one that's supposed to change fate in the future, but maybe Homura is trying to take that on herself.
Don't you think it would be better for both of us not to court needless trouble? Trouble for, like, it almost makes me feel like they are answering to somebody. Like, they have, like...
There's an organization. I mean, they do go to the same school now, all of them, now that Homura transferred.
Like, needless trouble for who?
For the
Madoka
world?
and Sayaka? For the world? For the people around here? Like,
organization.
I don't know. This is so interesting.
How do you feel about mascots and or fuzzy, furry friend creatures?
I don't have a lot of experience with them other than, like, worlds of creatures, like Digimon or Pokemon, right?
I agree with you that this looks like a Digimon design.
Oh, definitely.
Totally
like,
think that.
It's gonna transform into, like, Angelmon at some point. But no, I think that I really like the design. I was a little taken aback at first because of the red eyes, and there's nothing inherently wrong. There isn't anything wrong about that. I think that as the episode went on, okay, you know what it was? The second that I saw that it was hurt, my heart melted, and I was like, I love this thing, and I never want it to hurt again. I despise seeing that thing hurt, and I don't know how to pronounce its name properly, but I don't ever want it to be hurt again. And what about it is able to, like, convey a contract? You're able to do it with multiple people. Is it, like, giving you a gift, like each of these girls had, like, you know, an item? Is it giving somebody an item after forming a contract? Like, what is it about this creature? I don't know. I love this so far. It's really creepy, though.
I also love it.
This is my first proper magical girl anime.
I'm excited to be watching, like, an actual, like, you're sitting down and you're watching it in its entirety with you, because this is something I would have watched by myself, like, at random times in the middle of the night, maybe even, and you would have looked over and been like, oh, okay, they're
I would have
fighting
looked
people.
over, and the only thing I would have seen would be the dandelion things with the facial hair.
Right, but this won a poll it was asked for. Cardcaptor Sakura, Shugochara, Tokyo Mew Mew, Sailor Moon. I don't think we've ever been asked for, like, any of those things. So that puts this in a tier.
Which is so
there has
interesting.
to be something special about this or different about this, which is even more shocking that I hadn't actually watched it. I mean, watching Cardcaptor Sakura and Sailor Moon, that was a younger me thing that I got into that. Cardcaptor Sakura became a comfort character for me. I rewatch it a lot when I, like, need a show that's gonna make me feel safe again.
Yeah. I'm very shocked. Like, typically with, you know, anime or shows that we're watching that win polls, like, this stands out quite a bit. And at my biggest takeaway in, like, oh, this is different than all of your list, right, is the mixed medium and, like, the darkness and twisted nature of it. And if that's, like, I wonder just how much of that route we're gonna see.
Right. God,
I'm excited. I'm really excited. I love this age of animation. You know, this is the type of animation that you can... If you save up a ton of money for your entire life, you might be able to buy an animation cell from this type of thing, and that makes me happy.
I would agree with that.
All right, that's all I have for you.
I think so.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.